Yo, it's your boy Philly Phil here. Welcome to Philly Phil, Freedom Unfiltered, no bullshit. This will be your weekly podcast to give you a dose of raw, authentic views from a real American like me. We'll have a few different segments on the show. We'll have the Patriot Pulse, the Bro Bash, and the Wax and Slab Lab. Now, before I go into any further details about what you'll be hearing about on this podcast, some of the wild takes you may hear, it's important that you know that all thoughts, opinions, anything expressed on the show is mine. My guests alone has no bearings on my real life world, what I do, who I talk with, my family, my friends, none of that. Solely Philly. That's it. Okay. Now, with that being said, it's time to buckle up. Things are going to get bumpy, things are going to get wild, and things are going to get hot. Okay. As I said before, we're going to talk about the Patriot Pulse. It's going to have a few different things in it, hot takes on current events, things that are going on in the world right now. Okay. Then we'll move on to the Bro Bash. The Bro Bash is football, baseball, basketball, whatever the main sport is, whatever I feel like talking about, whatever I think you guys might want to hear about. Okay. Pop culture events, hot takes around things like that. Okay. We'll finish it up with the Card and Slab Lab, something around, what's going on in the hobby. It's one of my favorite things going on right now. Okay. My family really enjoys it. My brother, my cousin, we're into it pretty aggressively, pretty heavy, some more than others. We won't mention names right now, but throughout the course of the show, you'll learn about these things. But yeah, it's just some cool stuff to wrap up the show. You know what I mean? Lighthearted, funny. To take the weight off what you're hearing in the beginning. Okay. So with that being said, let's kick it off with our very first Patriot Pulse. Okay. Now the Patriot Posts, they're takes that are raw and they expose something that's going on this week. Okay. Let's start it off with something that might be a little controversial to some, might be a little bit of a hot take. Some of you might like it. Some of you might want my head for it. But let's talk about the No Kings protests. Okay. Now, started off as a good idea, right? I'm a big believer in protesting. Okay. I'm a big believer in speaking your mind, whether I believe in you or not. Okay. I think I make my political views somewhat clear. You'll learn what they are pretty shortly, but it's important that no matter what your beliefs are, that you talk about them, that you express them, and that you vote for them. No matter if they're opposite of mine, really don't care. It's important that in today's world, especially, that we can agree to disagree. It's something that's been lost in our culture. It's something we need to get back to. Debate should be a good thing. We should be able to talk about our differences and our beliefs, and I should be able to hear you. You should be able to hear me. We should be able to shake hands, hug after, and go our separate ways. Okay. And that's what makes America beautiful. It's a melting pot of people. We're all different. We all bring something unique and valuable to the table. So let me just get that out of the way first. Now, with that being said, the No Kings protests started off, like I said, as a good thing, talking about, Trump's war on tariffs and not being able to do whatever you want. Okay. I hear you. All good. There was over 2,600 of them this past week. 2,600 No Kings protests. 5 of them got pretty ugly. Okay. That being said, Portland, we got to do better. You got Molotov cocktails torching cop cars. 4 of them being hit. What, I don't see the No Kings aspect of that. I don't see the authoritarianism aspect of that. Pretty sure that if there was a king, he'd probably be hung in a public square for doing that, but I guess you could protest that way. Not way I'd go about it, but you definitely could. So that being said, Portland, I don't know what you're doing, but whatever. Austin, not doing much better. We burned 5 cars as well and looted a Best Buy. I hope the government got the message that stealing a PS5 meant no kings. Guess so. Washington, D.C. We got the National Guard there, and you still decide to throw bricks through police windshields. Concuss a couple officers. No kings, right? Yeah. L.A. Shouldn't expect any better from you, right? Let's just loot a Macy's and a Starbucks and steal 50 grand in cash. We can do that too, right? And Utah, Salt Lake City. We're just going to throw fireworks at police horses and have them fall down and have cops break their arms. No kings, huh? Yeah. A little hypocrisy there, I think. If we had a king, you'd all be hung for doing that. Maybe not hung, but definitely executed. Maybe burned at the stake, even. But we don't have a king. We have a president, whether you like it or not. I didn't like the one for the prior 4 years, but you know, it's what it is. This is why they deploy the National Guard, which isn't a good thing in my opinion. We don't need the National Guard in our cities, but when you just throw bricks through windshields and Molotov cocktails at cop cars, I really don't know what you think is going to happen. I mean, really, like, what do you think is going to happen in any country in the world if you throw a Molotov cocktail at a cop car? Do you really think that they're just going to say, oh, thanks, guys, I appreciate the exploding bottle? No, they're not. They're most definitely not, which is why you have what is happening now in Portland, where a federal judge just cleared over 2,400 National Guard troops to go into Portland. Finally, end the years of the nonstop riots, the looting, the fentanyl zones, the homeless encampments, and the wild extremist left-wing policies that have overtaken the city for years. Now, I'm a firm believer that too much of one thing is never a good thing. So when you go year after year after year after year, decade after decade, even in some cases, of further and further and further and further and further policies in either direction, left or right, okay? Because we see some very, very right-wing areas that they need a lot of help too, okay? Let's just be honest. Let's call a spade a spade. I mean, there's some parts of the country that are controlled by Republicans that are just utter disasters. Go to West Virginia. Tell me how it is there. If you're watching or listening in West Virginia, sorry for the stray, but we got to be better. We all need to be better. That's just how it is. We all can't just continue going further in one direction. We have to come together in the middle. You can't just keep going further and further left or further and further right. When you go further and further left, look at San Francisco, you look at Portland, you look at Chicago, you look at LA, cities that are overrun with homeless people, overrun with drug encampments, open air drug trading. Like, when did this become okay? Like, I understand being compassionate to people, but when did it just be okay to just sell drugs in the street? When? I'd argue with you that at least when the mafia was doing it, people were safe to a degree. At least it was just people in the mob getting killed. It wasn't random kids on a Tuesday afternoon in Chicago. I mean, this is just it has to stop. At some point, it has to stop. You can't let people do drugs on the streets. You can't sell drugs on the corner. You can't do it, okay? Like, there's a level where we have to stop. We can't provide people with free equipment to do drugs. Here you go. Here's a goodie bag to go shoot up heroin. Have fun. What? Like, no. So, thank you, federal judge, for granting the 2,400 federal troops to go save the city of Portland, because it needs it. I hope they go to San Francisco next. Please clean that up. I had to move from there. I loved it there. You can ask anybody that knows me. I bragged about the city when I lived there. I wanted to stay there. I paid a lot of money to live there, okay? I lived in a high rise in a good part of town. And it became highly unsafe. Couldn't walk outside without stepping over human feces, needles. Like, it's not a joke. It's a real thing, okay? Business owners don't want to be there. Buildings are boarded up. Car dealerships don't replace their front windows in the city of Oakland. Go drive by the Mercedes dealership in downtown Oakland. Tell me if it's got windows in front of it. Because it didn't for 3 years, from 2020 to 2023. They just didn't even replace the windows. Why? They kept getting broken. For what? Why are we busting out windows at a car dealership that employs people and supplies thousands and thousands of dollars in taxes to the county and the city every year? Well, we're just going to bust their windows out, right? And you wonder why the National Guards are being sent in. Go talk to a police officer in any of those cities and ask them how hard it is for them to do their job. Not all of them are bad. Some are. We can agree on that. There's some really bad cops out there that shouldn't be cops, right? But there's a lot of good ones. Go talk to them. Go talk to one in San Francisco or Oakland or LA or New York City or Chicago. Go ask them how hard it is to do their job on a daily basis. See what they tell you. You might be shocked. Okay? Let's give the taxpayers their streets back, though. Send in the troops, clean it up, be done with this. Give our cities back to the people that deserve to be in them, the ones that are paying to be in there, the ones that want to be there, that take care of their property, that take care of their business, that shop in their communities. Give them back to them. Stop giving them to the lowlifes and the people that just want to destroy our towns and cities. Get them out, be done with it. Let's talk about something different. A take that's going to be very unpopular amongst my people, but good old Volodymyr Zelensky showed up, hat in hand, begging for tomahawks. And no, I'm not talking about ribeyes, okay? I'm talking about those 1,500-mile range, $2 million American machines of a war, okay? I'm talking about those tomahawks. Yeah, Zelensky came, he wanted them. Now, good old Donnie, he's threatened this to Putin, and they talked, and he said, I won't send the tomahawks, because Putin knows that tomahawks change the game real quick. Tomahawks expose Russia for the paper tiger they are. Putin doesn't want that. He doesn't want to be exposed on the global scene that America's tomahawks can slice through his air defenses and reach his most critical assets, reach his oil fields, his ammo deposits, his supply bridges. Hey, Donnie, send the tomahawks. You want peace? Send the tomahawks. You want to bring Putin to the table for real? Send the tomahawks. Watch what happens. You won't even need to fire one. Just send them. Watch how quick he comes. They don't want that. Okay? Now, here's the problem. America's a little low on tomahawks right now. We used a shit ton of tomahawks taking out the Houthis. Needed to be done. Sorry. The Houthis, they got what they had coming as far as I'm concerned. Is what it is. Now, me personally, I think we need to be investing in building up our weapon supply again. Why not do it here? Build the factories, build more of them. Build these tomahawks. Make as many as we can. Make as many long-range bombs as we can. Build more bunker buster bombs. Build them. Build them all. Build them all. Don't build any nuclear weapons, but let's rebuild our stockpile. But guess what? Send some tomahawks to Ukraine. Give them 10. Give them 15. Give them 20. Give them one. Just give them the system to launch the tomahawks. Watch what happens. Putin's military has been exposed. He's banking on Iranian drones and North Korean troops to supplant his losses on the battlefield against Ukraine. That's defending themselves mainly on old Iraq war era military equipment. Like, they don't even have F-35 fighter jets. Like, we don't give them that kind of stuff. They don't have the weapons that Israel buys from us. They don't have any of that kind of stuff. They're using weapons that we didn't want anymore. And they're defending themselves pretty well. They're holding back supposedly some great military force. Yeah, they got a bunch of nukes, but who knows if those even are good anymore? I mean, look at their military equipment. They're using TomTom GPSs and fighter jets because their military equipment doesn't work. Like, be done with this. Trump, give them the tomahawks. Get it over with. Bring them to the table and get this done. enough of this. Paper Tiger Putin, we're done with him. Okay? We're done. With that being said, let's just be done with politics for now. That's enough of the Philly Phil hot takes. You guys don't need any more. Patriot pulls out. Let's get into the bro bash, okay? Let's talk about some NFL, okay? We won't just talk about just last week. We'll talk about kind of the season as a whole and what we've seen, right? Just a couple of takes. The fucking Indianapolis Colts are 6-1 because of fucking Daniel Jones. No. Let's not get ourselves twisted. He's not Danny Dimes still. He's not. He's still Daniel Jones, who's a fucking bum. All right. He's playing halfway decent, but that's only because they have a good offensive line. They have an amazing rookie tight end, and they have a running back who's literally carrying this team on his back, and they've played a cupcake schedule. They've beat the Broncos and Jags. Yeah, they beat the Chargers, but the Chargers haven't looked like they did week one, or maybe the Chiefs just look a lot better now, which probably is the case. But they haven't really beat anybody good. So let's not beat our chest and go, oh, Danny Dimes. No, Danny Dimes is ass still. Okay? He's trash. They're 6-1. You want the Philly Pulse? Okay? You want the Philly Pulse? They finish 8-9. Daniel Jones is trash ass, gets another year at quarterback next year, and then both him and A. Rich are gone, and they have to start all over again. They're trash. We'll stay in the AFC. Hashtag Ravens rebuild? I think so. Lamar's banged up. Henry's a shell of himself. Okay. The scheme's trash. All right. It doesn't win when they need it to. Let's just stop. Boom. Blow it up. Chalk it up. Start over. Harbaugh, get rid of your coordinators. Start from scratch. Keep Lamar. Get rid of Henry. Find a receiving core that's worth a damn, okay? Because you're running Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. I don't even know who else the receivers are. Mark Andrews? What happened? Did somebody not give him his Ozempic? Just kidding. Just kidding. Shouldn't have said that. I apologize. I have diabetic friends and that wasn't cool. But no, but seriously though, like what the fuck happened to him? Like he's a ghost too. Like he's done. Ravens, trash. At best, they finished 7-10. Like they're cooked. Over. Let's talk about a team that's near and dear to my heart. The San Francisco 49ers are 5-2 on the back of Mac fucking Truck Jones. I'm a big Mac Truck guy. Fun fact, I once broke my TV when we drafted Trey Lance because I wanted us to draft fucking Mac Jones. Yes, the fucking guy with fucking his shirt off, smoking a cigar with fucking titties fucking that are B cups. Yes, I wanted Mac Truck. Because I thought he was the most accurate quarterback coming out of the draft, and in a Shanahan system, he'd fucking light it up. That's what I thought. I was right. We should have picked him. And guess what? Brock, I don't care about the contract you just got. Don't drop the ball. Don't slip up. You keep playing like you were playing when you were hurt with turf toe. Maybe you got turf toe now, but you didn't in week one. Okay, didn't in week two. You dropped the ball. You're not the guy that got the big deal. You're not the guy that led us to the Super Bowl. And that's because you don't have Debo and Kittle and Ayuk and healthy CMC and a better offensive line. You don't have the weapons you had, Brock, and it's showing. Don't matter for Mac. Mac's dropping dimes to Kendrick Bourne. He is. Mac Truck doing his thing. Legit quarterback competition in San Francisco. Call it what you want, but it's a legit quarterback competition in San Francisco. Mac's on a 2-year deal too, by the way. So this isn't the last time you've seen him play. He will be back, and he will be starting. Those are my NFL takes for the week. Now, I got a few more. I didn't really want to go over them, but it's the first episode, so instead of 3 NFL takes this week, you'll get 5. The Miami Dolphins are ass. Straight booty cheeks. You got beat by Dylan Gabriel, who's also ass. Can we just play Shadur Sanders and get it over with? Like, we all want to see it. People will go to the game. People will watch. Just play him for a week. Let us see what he is. Can't be worse than Dylan Gabriel, right? You guys didn't win that game. You played the fucking Dolphins. You played the Miami Dolphins, who are ass. Mike McDaniel, stop doing key pops. Stop buying Coke on the corner and figure it the fuck out. Or just get fired, because that's what's coming. Because your coaching's fucking booty. Your play calling's been fucking ass. Your defense is getting shredded from fucking head to toe. Like, I really don't understand what you guys did. You guys were a playoff team. Now you're getting fucking smoked by Dylan Gabriel and the Cleveland Browns. Cooking people on parlays, by the way, because I know a shit ton of people probably took the Dolphins. I mean, maybe they didn't because the Dolphins were ass the entire year, but it's the Browns. It's the fucking Browns. Let's talk about the Raiders. What in the actual fuck? Geno Smith went from looking competent and getting a deal to looking like fucking Mark Sanchez on the fucking Jets. Like, what actually happened to the guy? Or is the Raiders' offensive line just that fucking shitty? I mean, nobody wants to play there. They're terrible. The stadium's filled with opposing teams' fans. A once proud franchise has turned into a fucking joke. An actual joke. They can't fucking buy a win half the time, okay? They've got a fucking all-world defensive end who's fucking screaming for help on his team, and you guys just can't fucking deliver it. You got fucking Tom Brady running shit, and you guys are getting fucking smoked like this. Like, this just doesn't go hand in hand. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. That being said, we'll go to the final segment of the show, the Wax and Slab Lab. Okay? Like I said earlier, near and dear part of my heart. I think it's a really, really good thing that we can do as people to grow and bond together, not just as families, but as a community as a whole, right? I think it can bring that sense of community, for lack of a better word, I guess, but that sense of belonging, like if you don't really have any hobbies, or, you're someone who just goes to work every day and comes home and wash, rinse, and repeat, right? Like, this is something that you can get into, right? Whether it be like me, I'm a big sports guy, so I do sports cards. My brother, he does both. Big Pokemon guy, though. Big Pokemon guy. But he's got Pokemon, he's got sports. Other friend, same thing, Pokemon, sports. My cousin, straight sports. Mainly just one player. Mainly on a team that I said needs to hashtag Ravens rebuild, but whatever. It's something that it could bring you together. They've got Disney cards, they've got Marvel cards, they've got all types of different cards, right? Sports from vintage, if you're a little bit older and you want to go, cards from the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, right? Like, it's all out there for you, right? Whether you want to buy the packs and rip them, right? Which we call wax. So you want to buy a bunch of wax, a bunch of, sealed boxes from 1972, because that's the year you were born, and you want to chase those guys, right? Like, you can still do that. Like, that's the cool part about this, is that stuff is still out there to buy. Now, you might pay a little bit more for that, right? And we'll get into that a little bit later. But those things are all accessible to you. Like, or whether you want to chase this year's rookies, right? Like, say you're like, oh man, I want that Jackson Dart downtown. You could do that. You could hop on Whatnot and buy the Giants Never Break if you want, and try to get as many Jackson Darts and fucking Cam Scats as you can. You could do that, right? Say you've got a little kid. His favorite player is, I don't know, Victor Wembanyama. You can go back a couple years and buy that year's Panini Prism and try to pull a Prism Silver Victor Wembanyama. Say, you like Kobe. You can go try to chase some Kobe Bryant cards now. Like I said, the older you get, some of that stuff gets a little bit more expensive, but you can do that, right? Or you can go to a card show. You can go as a family. You can go as a friend with friends. You can go to trade night and meet people, right? Like, there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do. You can search the individual cards and buy a slab. You can buy it raw. There's all kinds of different stuff you can do. You can teach your kid about, flipping cards, building a business. It's a really neat hobby. So we'll get into all that as we get on the show and go through the episodes and we'll have guests come on that talk about how they do it with their kids or how they do it for themselves and all kinds of different little things. So I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It's something that's, like I said, near and dear to my heart, something that I really enjoy. And I hope you guys can share that same passion as I do. Because 1.5 million new collectors joined the hobby last year. 1.5 million. That's a lot of people. Okay. eBay sales alone hit $2.8 billion. 2.8 billion with a B. It's a lot of money. That's just in sports cards. That's not even including Pokemon cards or Disney or anything other stuff, okay? And Pokemon's probably a little bit more. So think about that for a second. 2.8 billion just in sports cards. It's a lot of money. A lot of things you could do. Budgets that go endless, whether it's $5 bins at shows, getting 99-cent cards on eBay, or buying a $5,000 rookie ticket autograph that's a graded at 1010. Opportunities are endless. Really cool stuff. And like I said, it's something that you can do as a family. Whether you're chasing that Jordan Auto or LeBron relic or that Jaden Daniels downtown, it's all accessible to you. But with that being said, let's talk about the dark side of this hobby too. Be careful. Don't spend all your money. Don't go on Whatnot and get played like a fool, because that's what'll happen. I did it for a couple months. Grew up 1,000 followers on Whatnot. You can look up, it's my same name. You can look it up, it's on there. I got a 5-star rating, sold a bunch of stuff, did a bunch of breaks, made pretty good money too. Now I just kept investing it back in. I didn't pull any of the profit out for myself. I just kept buying more expensive boxes and things like that. But I could have just pulled the money and just kept going. I mean, it's insane. I was buying boxes of Phoenix H2, not even the hobby. Phoenix H2. Okay. Buy 2 of them. They were $200 each. I'd buy 2 Prism Blasters for $40 each. So I'm into this $480. And when it's all said and done, I sell all 32 spots for $1,000 for Phoenix H2. Now, just imagine these people that are doing these bigger cases, right? Now, if you're familiar with the hobby, you'll know the names I'm talking about. If you're not, we'll talk about that in other episodes later. Next week, we'll talk about the different types of boxes you can buy, the different type of breaks you can get into. That'll be next week's episode. But however, these boxes that I'm selling are not National Treasures boxes. They're not boxes that are optic hobby boxes, right? Like, these aren't even guaranteed autographs in these boxes. And at the time, the top rookie, CJ Stroud. And I've got people just going bananas trying to get the Texans and the Colts with Anthony Richardson. People $50-$60 a spot on Phoenix H2. Which, you go into these other channels on Whatnot, and I'm not going to mention the names, okay? I'm not going to be a complete scumbag about it, right? But this is America. People are free to make their own decisions, whether they're fucking stupid or not. We can do that. I'm sorry for the cough. But yeah, so it's America. You want to make a dumb decision? Make a dumb decision. But be careful on Whatnot before you're buying repacks that the best downtown's a fucking Jimmy Garoppolo from the 49ers. Like, nobody even wants that card, dude. Like, you can't even sell it. Nobody wants that. Like, so you just spent $500 on a team spot and got a Jimmy G downtown when you could have took the $500 on eBay and bought something you actually wanted. Be careful on Whatnot. People are making ridiculous money doing this. It's a reason why they're employing people to run their channel over and over and over and over all day long. They're taking the same cards that they bought from you for 70% at a card show. They're putting them in a magnetic case, and they're running single after single after single, and you guys are paying 125% of comps for a graded 10 for a raw card that's going to grade like shit because it hasn't been graded yet. And the guy that bought it for 70%, if it looked super clean, he'd send it into PSA. He'd send it into Beckett. Hell, he might even send it into fucking SGC just to get a quick grade back and then put it on fucking Whatnot for you to pay even double for. Okay? So keep that in mind. All right? There's a saying, one man's trash is another man's treasure. That's not always fucking true. Okay? Be careful when you're buying cards on Whatnot. That's all I'm going to tell you. It's a risky business. It's a tricky game. It's a lot of fun, but next thing you know, you're going to charge $2,000 on your Amex, $1,500 on your Capital One card, $1,000 out of your bank account, all to try to chase a Jackson Dart micro mosaic, when you could literally just take that money and go buy the card. Just go buy the card. Stop giving into these scams of people just making money off you for no reason. No reason at all, when what you want is available to you in a very short period of time. Just wait and buy it. Even if you're one of the first people to buy it, which I never recommend, because when the product comes out, you're going to get hosed if you're the first to buy it. Okay? Just be honest. You're going to lose money. Unless the guy turns out to be fucking Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady. Maybe Josh Allen. But other than that, and you hold it, you're cooked. You're fucked. End of story. So I recommend, though, if you are going to be one of those people who sits on whatnot, chasing a micro mosaic or a downtown or a fucking kaboom, just go buy what you want. Somebody I know very well was chasing Wemby's very hard when it came out, buying box after box after box, and he cracked some stuff, right? Never anything earth-shattering, right? I think he cracked a Wemby silver prism, still hasn't graded it, ended up buying a 10 of his own, but that's my point. Just buy what you want, because you're going to want it graded. You're not going to want a raw one anyways, okay? So just go buy the card. With that being said, I appreciate you all. I thank you for tuning into this very first episode. I thank you for struggling this out with me. I know it wasn't perfect, okay? We're going to improve on that, all right? We're going to have some cool guests as the show goes on. But like I said, this is Philly Phil, Freedom Unfiltered, no bullshit. Episode 1's a wrap. Thank you. Smash the like button. Smash the subscribe button. Download it. Share it with your friends. Show it to your moms and your aunties. I love y'all. Have a good one.